we're pouring water into a bathtub that has a giant hole ripped in the bottom.
Hey, how's it hanging, guys? So, Yang was just on MSNBC again, another interview. I don't know who this person is really, this interviewer, this whatever show this lady's on. I don't know. But before we play this clip, which I will play in its entirety, I just wanted to say that there's some criticism of me on the channel of my commentary. One of the biggest videos I have is just I didn't talk in the video, so I didn't really explain myself very well. And then I started doing that, and then people was like, well, just play the clip. So so what I'm going to try to do to help find a nice middle road is I'll play the clip in its entirety during the first part of the video, and then I'll talk about it and give my opinions afterwards. But make no mistake, this is my channel, and I will give my opinions. You don't have to like it. You don't have to agree with it. You know, but I will give my thoughts. I will think what I think, you know, and you're more than inclined to not like that, you know what I mean? Like, it's fine, it's cool, I don't care. And I encourage debate in the comment section, because I'm in there debating with you guys, and it's cool. It's a great time. Anyways, let's go ahead and roll this clip, and yeah, I'll see you guys on the other side.
2020 Democratic candidate and author of The War on Normal People, Andrew Yang. Read this book. It's very interesting. Andrew, welcome. I want to start with that. Who are normal people? And you've been traveling the country. What are they telling you?
Yeah, the normal people are really the average American worker. The average American worker right now is having a hard time getting by. They might have 1 year of college. 78% are living paycheck to paycheck. And the most common jobs in our economy are retail, call centers, fast food, truck driving, and manufacturing. And all of those jobs are being automated away as we speak.
Then whose job is it to solve for that? I give the example of President Trump. He told people in Ohio, don't sell your houses. These plants aren't going to close. But government can't control that. When Mary Barra closes an auto plant, like her or hate her, she's doing her job. But what's happened is normal people are mad at corporate America for doing that. Is their anger misguided? Whose role is it to solve for normal people who are getting screwed?
In theory, it's our government's responsibility, but our government has been asleep at the switch. We've been worshiping the almighty dollar and progress and saying, hey, if those thousands of plant workers lose their jobs, that's just what capitalism looks like. We've had these half-hearted efforts at retraining that have been proven to be ineffective on the ground. They only have effectiveness rates of between 0 and 15%, according to independent studies. And when I've been in Michigan, Ohio, Missouri, Wisconsin, any of these places, that the aftermath of automation is very, very clear to the people who are living in these communities.
But they're not asleep at the switch. These lawmakers would say, I'm trying to get reelected, and we're living in a world of short-termism. And as much as we need those resolutions, people aren't voting for that in the immediate. That's true in politics and business.
Well, and that's really the problem with our politics. We have to think bigger. We're in the third inning of the greatest economic and technological transformation in the history of our country. The reason Donald Trump's our president is that we automated away 4 million manufacturing jobs. And we're about to do the same thing to retail and transportation and the other biggest sectors. So if we continue to think short term, unfortunately, the disintegration that drove Donald Trump to the White House is just going to accelerate.
Well, you're a new name for many, but not everyone. The DNC requires at least 1% in polling or a certain number of individual donors for a candidate to get a spot on the stage this summer. You've got both. And what's amazing is there are some household names that are running who don't have that. Did that surprise you?
Well, it didn't surprise me because we're telling the truth about the facts on the ground to the American people. And the American people, when I've been to all of these states in the Midwest and New Hampshire, they're very smart. They know what's going on. If I say, hey, 30% of malls and stores are closing in your communities, why is that? They all know it's Amazon. And then if I say, how much did Amazon pay in federal taxes last year? They all know it's zero. So the reason why I'm doing so well, I'm up to 3% in national polls as of this week, it's because I'm the only one trying to solve the problems that got Donald Trump into the Oval Office in 2016.
But you think that malls should stay open and should be supported by federal dollars. Why? If people aren't shopping in them, we don't need them anymore. We don't use them.
Oh, I don't think that malls, as they currently exist, should be should stay in existence. But what we need to do is we need to provide some kind of transition to different uses. Schools, residential, community centers, even churches. Some of these malls can be repurposed, and if you don't repurpose them, then they become these sources of blight, where if you've ever been in a ghost mall, they are eerie.
Indeed, they are.
And they're havens for crime and other things.
You proposed this universal basic income idea. It's a central tenet of your campaign. How will that, listen, if you give money to people every single month, yes, it will help them support themselves. But how is that going to solve the automation and worker displacement issues? That's our big problem.
Well, it would create over 2 million jobs in Main Street economies around the country. And if anyone watching this thinks about what they would do with that $1,000 a month, they would end up putting it towards tutoring for their kids, car repairs have been putting off, trips to the hardware store. A lot of that business, a lot of these businesses would end up hiring more people right there in your Main Street. So this is the kind of move we need to make to enable tens of millions of Americans to make better transitions. And it would also have the net effect of making us stronger, healthier, mentally healthier, and more able to do the work that we want to do.
I want to be stronger, healthier, smarter, and better. I don't have more time, but I want you to come back. There's a lot more we didn't get into. I mean, the Legion of Builders and Destroyers, the Department of the Attention Economy. I want to dig into both. Will you come back soon?
Of course. I'll be back anytime you'll have me.
Excellent. Andrew Yang, hope you liked the first chapter. He's coming back for chapter 2 very soon.
All right, guys. So, this is where my opinion comes in, and I'm going to lay it on hard here. If you wanted corporate media, if you wanted a better take on corporate media, look no further than this interview right here. I mean, good Lord. It starts out by saying, "Who are normal people?" What do you mean, who are normal people? Some of those people watch your show, misinformed people, but really that just shows that they're speaking to people in power. They're speaking to the corporations. They're not speaking to normal people, this mainstream media. Who are normal people? I understand she's setting it up for him to explain a little bit about his book, but just the way you say that, who are normal people, like, people know who are normal people, and they all agree with Andrew Yang, just like he's saying. And then she says, what, like, a government can't stop places from closing, jobs from plants from going down. Yes, they can. Yes, they most certainly can. If corporations are paying zero in taxes and soaking up millions of revenue from Americans, then they take those jobs which have got them that far and they move overseas and close plants in America. That can be stopped. And have you ever heard of like the thing called the New Deal? FDR did that. That was also kind of stopping places from closing. They literally gave federal money to corporations and said, "Hey, make tanks. We're in wartime. Here's some money. Make some tanks. Hire some people." Yeah, like, excuse me. It feels like every time I watch MSNBC now, it feels like it's right wing. You know what I mean? It feels like it's Fox News challenging Andrew Yang, but anybody else is in that position whenever they're talking to somebody. Pete Buttigieg, it's not. They're softball questions. You know, I will give her props for not bringing up the white supremacy thing. That I'm more than happy about that. Shout out to her for that. That's good journalism, because if somebody disavows something like that, multiple times, you don't keep bringing it up. You're just trying to smear them at that point. You want to keep the populace thinking about that person. It's obvious. And they said that, about the malls, when she talks about the malls, it makes no sense. Because why would you want any place to close? Like, well, if people aren't buying stuff in there, it's because of Amazon. And that's fine. We like Amazon. We want to keep Amazon. But what he's trying to say is the money that's going out of the community and never going back in, because it's not like, even if Amazon paid their fair share in taxes, which this country would be a completely different place if all the corporations paid their fair share in taxes. If no money that the community spends on Amazon goes back into that community directly or indirectly. They pay zero in taxes, so none of that money gets floated back to the people. And that's just it. They don't do nothing. They say, "Oh, we're going to open up a packaging factory and we're going to hire 14 people." Well, whoop-de-doo. That just puts so much money, all the millions that you've raped from each community. That's all he's saying is we got to take this money that's going out of the community and put it back into the community. Because if Amazon wasn't there, they'd be spending that money in the community. It would circulate within that community. It's not that. It's just money is being absorbed and going straight to the top. That's exactly how it is. It's being circumvented. It's obvious. It's obvious. And I'm glad that she actually brought that question up because it gives him another chance to just explain that people do understand that Amazon and all these other places pay zero in taxes. They pay zero. We pay 30%, sometimes more. And then my favorite part, Andrew Yang laughs in her face when she says, politicians are trying to get reelected. Yes, they're trying to get reelected. So they lie to the American people time and time again. We're going to help. We're going to help. We're going to help. And then they turn around and go to a billionaire and go, oh, please give me some campaign money, more campaign money than my opponent, so I can, put your policies in place and do put all of the policies that they promised the American people on the back burner to what, because if I'm a billionaire and I give somebody money that I support, I support him for a reason, and I'm giving him all that money because I think he's going to do what I want. Why do I, as an American citizen, not a corporation, but an American citizen, support Andrew Yang? Because I think he's going to do what I want. I think he's going to enact the policies that I want. So if I'm a billionaire, a corporate billionaire, and I go to, say, Mitch McConnell, and I say, hey, Mitch, here's $300 million. Oh, and by the way, I'm pro whatever. Mitch McConnell is going to all of a sudden be pro whatever because he just got paid $300 million. So it's just how it works. This is corporate media. They really are trying to smear Andrew Yang. You can disagree with that if you want, but it's obvious. It's obvious, and they're doing it subtly. They're doing it nicely. They're not as doing it as what they did to Bernie the last time around. But I still don't trust them, and I think they'll probably cheat again. It's just the way it is. So anyway, that's all I got for you guys today. I just wanted to share that. I thought you guys would like that. So here we go.
So universal basic income. My initial knee-jerk reaction was, get the fuck out of here.
I'm immensely grateful to everyone who's gotten this campaign to this point, and you haven't seen nothing yet. I mean, we're going to go very, very far together.